Whew. Okay. I know it's a little bit dark in here. Actually, I can make it darker real quick. Hang on. These doors are set up in that weird way that you to shut one before you can. Okay, here we go. I just wanted to show you all the light bar because I haven't really recorded much with the light bar. On another note, let me flip this around. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know that I could put on these new grips. I like the grips a lot. They feel really good. So they say you have to put them on WD-40 or like a greaser. I actually used it's over here. Probably shouldn't have left the lid off of it. That might have been an oopsie on my part. But let me see in here. There's like a hair. That's all I see. But yeah, put it on with engine oil, and then the gap between the grip and the bar is so tight that it will just squeeze all the oil out. So this is what the old grip looked like. They're very hard plastic, like can't even really bend it that much. They were really uncomfortable. They were callousing my hands, which is like during like your first few years of school, like how you get those weird bumps on the sides of your fingers where you hold a pencil so much. Yeah, that's a callus, and these bars are so hard that they were sitting here and giving me calluses on my palms, and I didn't like it. Well, my throttle broke. The little connecting piece that's in here that you actually thread the cable into broke off, and the bars came in a set, so I got two. These are actual rubber. I had to cut it had an end on here that actually stuck out and covered up the turn signal a little bit so it looked more seamless. But when I had that on, it was actually restricting the movement of the throttle. Now since I cut that off and pulled the throttle back, snaps back into place. This one is good too. They feel a lot better. But just wanted to show you guys that. The only thing left really to do on this is, let me find my screwdriver in here. Can't really remember what I did with it. But down here under the battery door is where the battery is, obviously, and where the light bar is. Now since I got that wind is horrible. I don't actually know if I'm gonna go out and ride today or not. But yeah, so to show you all that. I'm gonna thread the light bar and the battery together and put them on the same master switch, because I have a little switch right here for it and it works great, as I'll show y'all in a little bit. But it came out of like a flashlight. It's like a really tiny switch. It's like that big. And basically, I don't think the gap opens. I have a visitor. Hang on. Hello. Hello. Would you like to come in? Would you like to come in? Come on. Excellent. I'm Shane Dawson, and this is a dog. Dang, almost knocking it over. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Come here. Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. If anyone wants to call out Do It With Dan and tell him that I have a better dog, please do that. Hi, buddy. Back to the YouTube grind. So, I wanted to show you all the light bar. So, the issue I'm having is that this switch is so small, and the batteries that are in that light all together make 4.5 volts, and this is the battery is 12 volts on this. So the contacts are so close together that I think a bit of current is passing through them at all times. And yeah, the switch doesn't close all the way, and if I leave it connected, it will drain the battery. When I leave the battery on here before, because there are no lights hooked up to it or anything, I could leave the battery out here and it would stay charged. So all right, I'm going to show you the light bar. So you see how there's a hole back there letting in a bunch of light. But this side over here is actually pretty dark. Let's hit the button on the light bar. It's actually pretty. I can change the angle of it a little bit because the way these brackets were, they don't hit on the same spot. And so this one is pinned in there really good, but this side is a little bit loose still. Yeah, let me get in front of it and see if my shitty 12 megapixel phone camera can, I mean, you can just see it right here, like it's bright. And this is with the light coming in from all the holes in the shed. So yeah, light bar's pretty bright. Also, it makes a little ringing noise when the light bar's on. So that might be an issue too. My turn signals are just, you push the button on the end of them. They work really good for what I needed it for. I didn't want to wire up OEM turn signals because no one likes doing that. They work great. They self-cancel after 30 seconds. And then my taillight here. The taillight has other modes. It has a flashing mode, which I will use if I ever go on a ride, if I can ever find someone that wants to ride. There's some scooter people around here. I'm sure I could figure it out. But then it has a strobe effect. And then the taillight. Now, this thing is supposed to be shock absorbent or shock sensing, so that basically if you hit a bump, or okay, this is supposed to go on the back of a bicycle. And on a bicycle, when you hit the brake, it's really noticeable. So we can open up the doors and get some light in here. It's actually really pretty out today. It's about probably 70. It was 67 whenever I checked it half an hour and oh god. It was 67 when I checked half an hour ago, and it's probably warmed up a bit since then. So I'll say 70. You can't see me at all, wow. Yeah, a little update on the moped. As I said in that video I just put out, the light in here is terrible. There it is. I am going to do one moto vlog every single day of spring break. Ooh, spider. Can y'all see him? Spider. I hope he didn't just go onto my phone. No, we're good. Okay. Thought I'd give y'all a little update. I am going to do a review on all of my lights that I've bought for this thing so far. So that tail light is supposed to, whenever it detects a shock, it will get brighter and then dim out again. On a bicycle, whenever you brake, because the bicycle only weighs like 20 pounds, it's very noticeable whenever you brake. This thing is constantly bumping and stuff though, so I don't think this thing works as a brake light that well. So what I might do is, let me flip it around and show y'all here, show y'all my plan. It's like 1. So what I'm gonna do is, I don't have a license plate, right? So this is a license plate holder. What I'm gonna do is get one of the red light strips off of Amazon. Get one of those lights. I think it'll fit on here nicely. Then use this hole to run the wires up under the body. Hook it up to the battery, obviously, because you need a battery to do electrical stuff. Run those up to the frame. Now, how your brakes on a motorcycle work is through a brake switch. So it's a momentary switch, and it's really tiny, and it sits behind your lever. So when you push in your lever, your brake, the switch is closed and the brake light will turn on through the closed switch. So I actually have my brake switch still attached here. So this screws in. See if I can even pull it up here. It's not going to need to reach up here because I'm going to remount it with the new brake, but it sits behind there, if you can imagine. This is supposed to go over here, which is probably why it's not reaching. I am going to do a front brake kit on this, but I have the pad on it right now, and the pad is probably full of water. So I have to buy the lines, the banjo fittings, the handle, and probably a new brake. Not the pad, the thing that holds the pads, the rotor. No, not the rotor, this is the rotor. Caliper, yeah. So it's just going to be an expensive process, and if you've never bled brakes on these things, they're not very sensitive, so it's kind of hard to bleed brakes on them. But I mean, the back brakes work good for what I need. As those are drum brakes, they are eventually going to wear out and start grinding, so I will have to replace them. So whenever those brakes go out is when I will do the swap, because it is actually cheaper to put a whole front brake system on this than to get the back pads changed. But basically, your brake switch sits right here. Now in this position, the switch is open, so no power is going through it. When you push your lever, though, imagine that my thumb is your brake lever. When you pull it back, it touches the switch together and closes it and turns your light on. Then when you let off your brake, it opens it again and turns it off. Yeah, this one doesn't actually have its brake switch on it. I don't really think that the back brake on this had a brake switch to begin with. This is actually the brake switch on the back, but it's fried. So, yeah, I'm going to utilize this brake switch and get a brake light. After that, this thing is basically as functional as a moped. If you bought it from like a dealer or something, it'll have all the lights, kickstart, and optional electric start, maybe. Yeah, this thing will be good. Just gotta basically just switches and electrical work. The starter button on it never worked, and I don't know why. Like usually they say if your starter button doesn't work, but you can jump the solenoid, then the solenoid is bad. But I put 4 solenoids on this moped, and that starter button has never worked. So, yeah. Horn doesn't work. The turn signals didn't really work. Yeah, just to give you all a little update. I am going to start posting a lot more frequently because, well, this is like kind of my main project. Like, I don't really do much else. I do sing, actually. If you guys would like to see me do a singing channel, let me know. Unless your name is Max, in which case, Max, no one gives a shit about your opinion. And, yeah, go fall off a curb and die because you're so short. By the time you hit the ground, it's like jumping off of the Grand Canyon. No, I got it. Go commit scooter ankle, but with a real scooter. How about that, Max? Yeah. More uploads coming soon. Later, y'all. I know I've stopped this shit.